The In Conversation podcast series with author Nigel Beckles.
Welcome to the podcast.
Please like the podcast and subscribe to this channel. Thank you.
Have you experienced several failed relationships or been through a divorce? How can you avoid making the same mistakes again? How to avoid making the big relationship mistakes is out now.
Hi, my name is Nigel Beckles. My new book is packed with practical and common sense strategies that you can use to make better relationship choices.
Now you can discover the dangerous myths about love. If your relationship expectations are realistic, why you could be falling in love for all the wrong reasons.
How to avoid making the big relationship mistakes. It's a book that could change your life.
Available from www.relationshipmistakesbook.com and amazon.co.uk. Kindle version also available.
Award-winning author Pamela R. Haynes. Her latest book, Loving the Brothers, is available from Amazon and all good bookstores now. Nominated in the Best Writer category by the BLAC Awards for 2020. Loving the Brothers by author Pamela R. Haynes. Order your copy of a fantastic book now.
Get ready for takeoff.
Welcome back to my In Conversation podcast series. My guest for this episode has been inspired to write a book inspired by her late father's stamp collection, Denise Fisher. Hi Denise, welcome to my podcast series. How are you?
I'm great. Absolutely delighted to be with you and your listeners today.
Pleasure to have you. So, I understand that you are in the process of writing a book. What inspired or who inspired you to write your book?
I was at home during lockdown as I couldn't work. I had a sore back and I was going through my father's things that had been sitting in the garage. He passed away 17 years ago and he was a stamp collector and he did the Indian and Pakistan postal history. So going through it all, I actually resented all the space it was taking up in my garage. So what I did was, as I was going through and cutting off all the stamps off the envelope, which filled up so many recycling bins, and I was finding these letters from people all over the world, and they had so much affection for him, and there were so many interesting comments about the political situations during that time. We're talking about from the 1950s onwards here. And I started to become more and more interested, and my interest was piqued. So I tried to put some of the things on eBay to sell them, but I didn't have much luck. And I was getting a little bit sad because I didn't really want to see it all ending up in the recycling bin. And then on the 30th of May, I had a dream, and I'm sure my father came to me and he said, Denise, you're always writing, write stories about them. And so that next morning, it was a real flurry of activity. I got onto the WhatsApp OMI group, our family OMI group, and said, this is what's happened. And suddenly all the family were coming in and they were encouraging me to get on with it. And that's how the Dada Gigi stamp stories got started.
So what exactly is the book about?
I call it a ristory, which is a rhyming history. So I take a stamp, and what I did was I furried around in the box with all the stamps in and picked one out. And it just so happened to be the 1660 stamp that celebrates the beginning of the postal office. So, I mean, this is karma in its true identity here. So what I did was I did research on the history of the stamp, where it was, why it was done. It was celebrating 300 years. Who did it, the designer, the history behind it, then delved into the history. And I've got lots of help from the Postal Museum, the Royal Mail and the British Library. And then started to put a story together. And it originally started as a normal story, but then I've always liked writing songs and things like that. So I started doing things to rhyme, and then the characters. The cat comes from my mum's cat, who appeared and adopted her after my father passed away, called Tootsie. And Tootsie was very jealous of me because she didn't like me coming near my mum. So Tootsie's the malevolent cat, Teckle's an old dog of mine, and then the Dada Gigi character, based on my father, his sense of humour, his intelligence, yearning for learning and his teaching without preaching. That's what he was like.
So is your book going to be a historical book?
The book is a rhyming history. So what happens is Dada Gigi lives in this den in an Aberdeen mansion, and one of these granite mansions. And because he originally lived in a very tiny flat with 6 children and his wife, he's loving all the space. So he's got his stamps and everything there. And the children come to visit. And what he does with the mailing magic, he uses a sorting stick, which goes postal pop. And then they actually go through time, through space and everything, back to where the stamp originated, the history of the stamp. So in the rhyming fashion, the history gives the child all the information of what was going on at the time, but it's a funny way, like Dada Gigi has false teeth and he might lose them, or the cat bites the kid and things like this. There's all different things.
So when do you hope to have the book published?
So it should be ready for the end of August.
Oh, so you hope to have it published by the end of next month then?
That's right. Originally, my niece in Spain, she did a beautiful collage of Dada Gigi in his den. But unfortunately, due to time constraints and things, she was unable to carry on with the illustrations. So I put my wish out into the universe, and I found a wonderful illustrator who's at the Northeast College here in Aberdeen, and she's doing the illustrations for me. Her name is Nora Bandipediai, and her family are from Calcutta, which is where my mum's from. So it's all very much karmic experience and a karmic journey. She's not doing illustrations in a cartoon way. They're actually small pieces of art, and they go together with the rhyming history.
So Denise, how can people contact you?
So I'm getting my website up, and it's called www.dadagigi.com. That's in the process of being set up. If not, they can contact me on info@dadagigi.com.
Okay, Denise, well that sounds very intriguing. Looking forward to your book being published. Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you so much.
Please like the podcast and subscribe to this channel. Thank you.
Looking for Love is a documentary that explores Black relationships in the UK, seeking answers to difficult questions, transforming the way we think about love and relationships.
50% of couples who marry this year will get divorced.
Looking for Love from the award-winning director Menelik Shabazz is finally available on DVD.
If I had been to a counsellor or been to a therapist, I would have dealt with a lot of those issues a lot quicker.
Get yours today from lookingforlovefilm.com.
Thank you for listening. Please join me for another In Conversations podcast very soon for more interesting and entertaining discussions. Stay safe.
Please like the podcast and subscribe to this channel. Thank you. Please like the podcast and subscribe to this channel. Thank you.